Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Please subscribe my channel. The scent of freshly turned earth was a perfume Becca couldn't get enough of. She knelt in the vegetable garden, her hands buried in the rich, dark soil, carefully tucking a tiny tomato seedling into its new home. The late afternoon sun warmed her back, a familiar and comforting weight. Thomas was a few feet away, his focus absolute as he assembled a new, much larger raised bed. "Think it's big enough?" he asked, sitting back on his heels to survey his work. The structure was substantial, promising a future bounty of zucchini and cucumbers. Becca smiled, a secret playing on her lips. "It's perfect. We'll need the space." Their son Benny was chasing a fat bumblebee with the single-minded determination of a toddler, his giggles punctuating the quiet hum of their neighborhood. This scene, the garden, the laughter, the shared silent language of a partnership built and tested, was the life they had painstakingly built. It was their sanctuary. Later, as the sun dipped below the fence line, bathing the yard in a golden glow, they sat on the patio. Benny was finally tuckered out, dozing in Thomas's arms. The air was soft, filled with the chirping of crickets tuning up for the evening. Becca watched them, her heart feeling so full she thought it might burst. She reached for her phone, scrolling through the camera roll. It was a habit, to trace the lines of their happiness. She paused on a picture from that morning. Thomas, his hair adorably mussed with sleep, making pancakes while Benny helped by enthusiastically wielding a wooden spoon. It was a perfect, chaotic, ordinary moment. And then she swiped to the next photo. It wasn't a picture of their faces or the garden. It was a simple, almost clinical image she had taken in the soft light of their bathroom. Two thin blue lines crossed in a digital window. A tiny, silent thunderclap held in the palm of her hand. Thomas noticed her stillness. "What is it, Bee?" he asked, his voice a low rumble against Benny's head. She didn't answer with words. Instead, she simply turned the phone screen toward him. She watched his face, saw the moment of confusion, then the dawning, slow-spreading comprehension. His eyes, which had been heavy with the day's fatigue, widened, then crinkled at the corners. A breath he seemed to have been holding for years left his lungs in a soft, wondrous laugh. "Really?" he whispered, as if speaking too loudly might break the spell. She nodded, tears pricking her own eyes. "Really?" He shifted a sleeping Benny to one arm and reached for her with the other, pulling her into the circle of their family. It was a different kind of hug than their usual ones. This one was filled with a profound, quiet awe. They stayed like that for a long time, a trio on the cusp of becoming a quartet, the promise of the future humming between them in the twilight. Later, after Benny was safely tucked into his crib, they stood together in the kitchen. Thomas poured 2 glasses of sparkling cider, a silent acknowledgement of the shift in their world. "Something's brewing," Becca said softly, leaning her head against his shoulder as she looked out the window at the shadowy outlines of the garden. Thomas kissed her temple, his hand finding its familiar, comforting place on the small of her back, then drifting lower to rest, warm and protective, on her still, flat stomach. "Yeah," he murmured, his voice thick with emotion. "Something wonderful."